In this example, we're going to develop the algorithm for long division to divide integers. First, we're going to use base blocks and extend that idea to what we're going to call an extended algorithm, a longer version of the standard algorithm. Then we're going to use the standard algorithm. So remember, we had 564 divided by 4. So we had our 5 blocks, or 5 flats, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rods. And 4 units. Okay. So let's think about the process we used, and we're going to set this up just like long division, like you probably remember when you were younger. Don't know why I wrote that. 564 divided by 4. So the dividend goes under the bar, the 4 goes on the outside. So we're trying to find how many times 4 goes into 564. So remember what we did first. We looked at the flats first, and we saw there were 5 flats and that each of the 4 groups could get 1 flat. Okay. So notice that means that each one gets 100. So I'm actually going to write 100 up here, which might seem weird. This is a little different than the standard algorithm, but we're going to see how it develops. Now we're going to use the idea of repeated subtraction. So remember, our goal is we start with all of these and we're going to subtract off all the ones we use till we use them all up. And when we use them all up, that's when we get to 0. So far we've used 400 to divide 564 by 4. Everybody gets 100 and 400 is used up. Now we have 164. Okay. Now we said, okay, we had this flat. We were going to trade that in for 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we said if we broke this up into 4 groups, if we divided the 16 rods, here's the 16 rods, or 1 flat and 6 rods is 16 rods, into 4 groups, each of the 4 groups could get 4 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we used up all the rods, and notice each group is getting 4 rods, which is 40. So now each group had a flat, now they also have 4 rods, which is 40, and that uses up 160. So now let's move up here a little bit, and we have 4 left, and that was just 4 units. And then we said with these 4 units, each group of 4 could get 1, so we can use them all up, 1 for each. So that was 1 unit for each of the 4 groups, and then we have used these, and we're left with 0, and that's how we know we're done. So each of the 4 groups got 1 flat, 4 rods, and 1 unit, or a total of 141. So that would be our result. So now let's connect this to the standard algorithm, which has a little bit less writing and you don't have to think about the place value as much. It kind of just takes care of itself. So let's see how we condense this. 564 divided by 4. So we start by saying 4 goes into 5 how many times? So 4 goes into 5 once without going over, and then we can subtract off the 4. And we have 1. Okay. So notice what this represents. We put the 1 above the 5, and that's actually the hundreds place. So this 1 right here is representing 100, like this did up here. When we subtract 4 from the hundreds place, we're really subtracting 400. We're just not writing all of the zeros. And this 1 remaining was this 1 flat right here, which is currently in the hundreds place. So after we do that division, we bring down the next number, which is 6. So now we have 16, and we ask 4 goes into 16 how many times? So notice this isn't really 16, this is 16 tens. It's 1 flat and 6 rods, or 16 rods. But it's easier to think of 4 goes into 16 without thinking of all the rods. So 4 goes into 16 exactly 4 times, and we put a 4 up here. And notice the 4 is in the tens place, and it actually corresponds to the 40 or 4 rods. We subtract 4 times 4, which is 16, and we have 0. But we're not done because we still have one place value left. We bring down this 4. We ask 4 goes into 4 how many times? Well, exactly once. We put that above the place value we were in, which corresponds to the units, subtract 4, and we get 0. Okay, so this is our standard algorithm for division, and this picture will help you connect why it works. Now again, we have all of these division problems, and it seems like a lot of work, but remember, all of these correspond to this with just different signs. So we said a positive divided by a positive is positive. A negative divided by a negative is also positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. Negative divided by positive is negative. So if the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Any one of these problems, you'd start by dividing the absolute values. Okay, so 564 divided by 4, well, that's what we found here. So for any one, you'd start by doing this. We have 141. And then you determine the sign based on the numbers. Well, we have positive and negative, so the result is negative. So this is negative 141. Here we have negative 564 divided by 4. Well, 564 divided by 4 is 141. We have negative divided by positive, so that's this situation, and the answer is negative. And finally, negative 564 divided by negative 4. We divide the absolute value of these numbers and get 141. And then we'd say, well, it's a negative divided by a negative. Well, negative divided by negative is positive, so 141 is our final answer.